Hello, 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 sellers. Come on in. I'm Kathy Terrell, and I love to be selling. And I'm talking today about a very, very important topic for sellers. And that is for many sellers right now, and this is March of 2023, sellers are experiencing shrinking sales on eBay at the same time that they're experiencing higher fees. And starting in March, there's going to be even more higher fees. So then the question comes, people come to me, it's Kathy, my sales are slow. I don't know what to do. And I know the fees are going to get higher in March. It's really getting tough for me with my selling business on eBay. So I have good news and I have solutions for you. So for those of you that are experiencing slower sales, it's not you, it's eBay. It's also all internet sites for the most part. And I'm going to go into that a little bit. And I'm going to go a little bit into the weeds. So my intermediate and advanced sellers, there's going to be plenty for you in this. And my newer sellers, just sort of take notes and take this all in, okay? Because this is going to help you. So if you're not aware of this, and Jamie Iannone, who's the CEO of eBay, mentioned this in the fourth quarter earnings call for 2022. And what that is, all publicly traded companies do this. They have earnings calls quarterly and they disclose what's going on in the company. It's done for investors. So it's not a seller event, it's an investor event. And I attend and I go through them because there's always a lot of good nuggets in there, but you got to wade through a lot of financial talk. But what Jamie did disclose is that the buyers are down on eBay 9%. So there's less buyers on eBay. And I'm sure you're aware of this as a seller on eBay, especially if you've been selling for a while, is every month there's more and more sellers joining eBay. So you have more sellers on eBay. And right now in the world that we're living in, there's less buyers. And this is because there was a huge explosion of buyers when brick and mortar retailers were shut down. Now that the stores are back open, you have a natural gravitation of some shopping going on in brick and mortar. So you have people shopping brick and mortar and less online shopping going on. So less shoppers, a lot of sellers, and then you also have everything that's going on right now with the economy, which is for a lot of people, money is tight right now. So how do I stay successful as an eBay seller with less buyers and a lot of shoppers really watching their dollars right now? And don't forget that eBay is global. So that's my first tip is if you are not taking advantage of shipping internationally, I really encourage you to do it because there are sites out there that we can sell on and we can't ship globally. One of the great things about eBay is that it trades, if I remember correctly, it's over 160 countries. So number one tip is if you were selling years ago, selling internationally was much more of a challenge than it is now. I remember filling out customs forms and standing online at the post office. It's much simpler now. And if you're not in eBay's International Standard Shipping Program, when it is offered to you, because again, it's March 2023, it is being rolled out. When you are offered it, really do take a look at it. It's a very, very attractive program. Takes a lot of the friction and stress about international shipping and sales out. And that helps to increase your sales. In fact, I'm in New York City and I was just talking to a friend who's in Australia and she was sharing they're going into fall. So the other thing about shipping internationally is, right now we're getting into warmer weather. If you're shipping to Australia, they're getting into colder weather. Is it helps especially if you're selling clothing, but really any sort of items like gloves and hats and boots, it helps your items to sell year round. So that's my first tip for you is really, 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 if you're not shipping internationally, ship internationally, okay? Because that's going to help your sales. The next thing to consider, and this is one in looking at retail environment, and this is one for my intermediate advanced sellers. One company that is doing quite well right now that's a big online retailer is Walmart. And I'm not telling you to become Walmart because we all sell different things. But one of the things to look at with Walmart, and this is again from listening to their fourth quarter earnings calls from 2022, is they are really doing very, very well in grocery. So that's my second tip for you. If you have not explored doing some grocery items, and I'm not selling sell lettuce or milk, but really take a look at, are there any unusual food items that you have access to in your neighborhood? For instance, I'll come across some really interesting teas. Tea's a favorite one of mine to sell. But other food things is keep an eye out for food items that might be attractive to people because they're harder to get. They might be only available in your area, or certain really yummy food items that are only available at certain stores. And you might think, well, everybody has access to this. Like, I'm going to pick a Walmart. Everybody has access to this at their Walmart. Yeah, but not everybody has Walmarts. And not everybody wants to shop on their website. And they may have things in the store that they don't offer on the website. So keep an eye out, especially when you're in more boutique-y things and more boutique-y food stores. You know, if you're in an area, I'm going to pick just like Coney Island here in New York City. If I'm in Coney Island and I'm looking around, there might be some fun food items that are just from Coney Island, Akron, Ohio, Chicago, Illinois, Boston, Massachusetts, Dallas, Texas. There might be some fun items that are easy to store, easy to ship, that people all around the United States might enjoy having access to. Because if I remember that wonderful item from when I lived in Dallas, or when I got married in Dallas, or when I lived in Los Angeles or Chicago, and you're offering it, that tasty treat, it could be a hard candy, it could be a lot of different things, is keep an eye out. Because Walmart is doing very, very well on grocery. The other thing to keep in mind with something like them doing very well with grocery is the grocery items bring the customers into the store, okay? I used to do merchandising at Macy's. Macy's regular had events called doorbusters. They would be for a limited time. And it would be a well-known brand like a Cuisinart, like a Nike, like an Under Armour. I'm trying to think of things. A Mr. Coffee. It would be a well-known brand, a great item, heavily discounted. So let's say like in the spring, it would be an ice cream maker. And it'll be for a limited time, great price to get people in the door. Because that's what you're looking for. If there's less shoppers on eBay, and even when you sell really unique collectible items, this can be really wonderful because what you're trying to do is you're not the only seller on eBay with wonderful, unique collectible items, is you want to get people to your listings. If you have an eBay store, you want to get them to your store. Well, how do you do that? It's to have those items. Walmart does it with food, is you have those items that are going to help people get into your store. And what are those items going to be? Whatever categories you sell in. And if you are a soup to nuts seller, real simple. Look at your paid and shipped. Are there certain categories that you notice that you do better in than others? Like you might do very well with small appliance parts. You might do very well with vintage t-shirts. You might do very well with pet treats. I'm just making stuff up. You might do very well with desk lamps. Okay, so whatever that makeup is, good. Now I know, you know what? This sells well for me. Makeup, pet treats, it could be costume jewelry. I'm going to look for things in those categories that are name brands. I'm going to pick something like men's clothing. So I'm going to look for Nike, Under Armour, LL Bean. If it's vintage t-shirts, there's certain bands that are very popular. And I might pick it up even if it's a lesser ticket item. So it's popular by this band. I'll do something like the Partridge Family, the TV show, right? So it's a popular show, popular band. I haven't researched, so you got to check for yourself. So I might pick one up where maybe I'm only going to make a few bucks, but they're really good keywords. Under Armour's great keyword. Nike, great keyword. Disney, great keyword. Certain brand makeups, because what that's going to do is it's going to help people get to my listings and to my store. So if you're noticing your sales are slumping a little bit, go through your items with really good name brands on them and check your price. Is there any way you could bump the price a little bit? If you've got a store, perhaps run a sale on that brand or do a coupon for that brand. You might even want to drop it in auction. The point is you're using that item with the great keywords to get traffic to your other items. You're pulling a Walmart. They're using the groceries because you're coming in. It's an essential. I need my milk. I need my eggs. and you know this happens all the time because I'll do it when I go into the supermarket. I even joke with the cashier, is I'll come in for the lettuce or the milk, and sure enough, you're buying the soup that's on sale, you're picking up a box of cereal. Why? Because they got you into the store. So take a look at what items do you have. Like right now is spring. So it might be springy items. We're also right around St. Patrick's Day. Do I have anything really bright green? Then we're going right into Easter and Passover. Do I have anything bunny themed, egg themed? Then we're going into prom season. Think about the different retail events that are coming. There's also hunting season if you've got camo stuff that you want to highlight. And then we go right into Mother's Day, Father's Day. So with all the seasons coming, and then you get into the summer, you think about people are camping, they're on vacation. What items might these people be looking for that are related to what I have in my store? Because obviously if I have a huge range of pet products, I don't necessarily want to go trying to think of something that's just not pets. Something that's just, something that's just not pet related at all. But for instance, like it's gardening season is upon us. So if you've got anything related to gardening, outdoor living, outdoor patio living, people love to decorate their decks, they're hanging things in their trees, wonderful bird feeders, is things that people would be looking for with a brand name or a style name. Again, something like bird feeder, I'm assuming is going to be pretty common this time of year, okay? Patio, outdoor living, all of that is pretty common. Pool accessories. And to stock those items, even if there's only a small margin, which means I'm not making that much, right? I'm only making, $4 or $5 or $5 or $10. It depends what small is to you. But the reason I'm stocking them, particularly if you can get them multi-quantity, is it's getting traffic to my listings, to my store. I'm doing what Walmart does. This is why it's good to watch the big box retailers and see what they do. I'm doing what Macy's does with the doorbuster. I'm not giving my items away. I'm welcoming shoppers in because what I'm acknowledging is there's less shoppers on eBay. So I want to make sure the shoppers that are there, and eBay's working hard to bring us shoppers, get to my items. And that's why thinking things of good keywords, thinking things that are seasonal, and don't forget to offer international shipping is all great ways to increase your sales with even factoring in the rising eBay fees. And that's why you always want to keep an eye on your price margins. But the reason for it's even sometimes called a loss leader. So I might even lose a few bucks on it. But for me, it's worth it because of the traffic that I'm driving to my items because it has those good keywords. And another thing to keep into consideration, regardless of the category that I am selling in, is that promoted listings is here. And most sellers use what's called promoted listings standard. The rates on promoted listings standard, the way that eBay calculates what a promoted listings standard sale is changing as of March, the end of March 2023, which means more items will be included as a promoted listing standard sale. Previously, it was they had a direct click on it that was in a campaign. You do have to put it in a campaign. That would be a promoted listing standard sale. Now, anything that you have that's in a promoted listing standard campaign, if the shopper lands on one of your promoted listings item and then buys any of your promoted listings items as of March 30th, 2023, you will be charged a promoted listing standard fee. Again, the item does need to be in a campaign. You have control over the rate. Because of this, there are definitely things that you're going to want to think about in creating campaigns and in setting your rates. And it may even impact the way you source. Like certain things you go, you know what? There's just not that much price profit anymore with this because I could get charged a fee on it. So I'm not going to do it. Or you might decide, sort of like the Walmart kind of thing is, I'm okay with that because it gets people into my listings and into my store. So what I've done is I've written a guide. It's free. It's my gift to you. All about promoted listings. And I've got 4 pages. I'm even going to tell you what pages they are. It's page 8 through 11 that gives you strategies about what you can do with these changes that are happening to the way eBay calculates your promoted listing standard fee. Because what I'm all about is I love eBay and I love eBay sellers. And what I want is that you're educated so that you can make the choice that's right for you and your selling. And the only way to know that is to absolutely know what's going on with it. And then you can look at your listings and you can look at your fees and you can decide what's right for you. So you're going to hop over to my website, ilovetobeselling.com. When you get there, you're going to see free guide, winning with eBay promoted listings. And again, it has the bonus 4 pages, how to deal with the March 2023 changes. Grab it and download it. It's my gift to you. So Louette is asking, hi Louette, how are you? If I put an item in no campaign, does eBay still promote it? You're not technically promoted if it's not in a campaign, Louette, okay? So only if you're in a campaign do you show on eBay what is called a sponsored position. And if you shop on eBay, and I encourage you to download the app, go on the desktop and look, things that say sponsored on them, the seller has put into a promoted listing. But Louette, even when it's not in a promoted listing campaign, and I do cover this in the guide, you still show in organic search. So not promoted, you're in organic search. Also, even when you're promoted, you have 2 placements. You'll have sponsored placement, which shows on eBay search. You also are shown in various places around eBay. It's not just the main search area. So you still show organic. You'll still get organic sales even when you're in promoted listings. And you have the promoted listings placement. But Louette, because of the way the fees are being changed, the way they're being calculated, what you need to take a look at is what the item cost you, what the final value fee is going to be. And really with every listing, what I'm encouraging people to do, and I mentioned this in the guide, so make sure you download it. And you're one of my members. So you're in Love to Be Selling Insider. So it's on our Insider website. I've got it there for you. I've also got some notes that are exclusive to the membership. So they're right in there for you too, Louette. But when you look at the guide, when you're doing a listing, if you're putting it into promoted listings, you consider the cost of goods, your final value fee, and the promoted listing fee, which again, you select, you pick. It is in your control, but it absolutely does work to help you to get found. Oh, you're welcome, Louette. It's always good to hear from you. So I encourage you, please, please, please grab this free guide, Winning with eBay Promoted Listings, with the 4 pages of bonus tips about strategies that you can pick, because it's your choice, how you want to deal with the fee change. After reading it, you may go, you know what? I'm fine the way I am. Great. Or you may decide that there's changes that you want to make. And I make some different suggestions, which again, it's all about you choosing what's best for you. And you might make different choices for different categories. So vintage t-shirts, you're going to do one thing. Women's clothing, you're going to do something else. Kids' toys, you're going to do something else. Remember, with promoted listings, it's not one size fits all. You can have different campaigns for different categories, different prices. Again, it's totally in your control. So grab the free guide. I'm Kathy, and I love to be selling. Bye-bye, everybody.